People ask me why I say that Cairn is great for solo if it's not a solo game. And in other channels, I also see people struggling a little bit to start playing Cairn solo because they probably have the same idea that, oh, Cairn is a solo game, and then they realize that it's not, and they ask what can be done to play Cairn solo. So in this video, I hope that I can answer some questions and show you, based on my experience, how I play Cairn solo. By design, Cairn isn't a solo game. It is meant to be played with at least a GM, a Warden, and a player. But when we say that it's great for solo, it's not because it was made to be played solo, but it is because it has simple rules and very easy to be used. Cairn First Edition was already a good option for solo players because, as I said, it has simple rules. But apart from that, during character creation, we have several tables that can bring some inspirations and also ideas to create your adventure. So just these tables here were enough, at least to start my games. But of course, in order to move on, I had to add more tools to it. I had to bring some external oracles, sparkling tables, and so on. And for that, you can basically bring anything. You can bring Mythic that has a big framework with several stuff, and due to the simplicity of these rules, you don't need to manage too much stuff. So this is one reason that makes Cairn a good option for solo. You can bring external tools very easily. Of course, Cairn has not its official rules, solo rules, but it has, I would say, rules made for Cairn, such as Barrel Delver. That is a kind of mythic simplified to be played using the Cairn rule set. And this is free. Also, as Cairn is free, this is also free. You can download it on itch.io. I will try to put the link in the description of this video. And here you have a mechanic called a pressure point. That's similar to the chaos factor on Mythic, and it also has the oracle to answer yes and no, but we also have some spark tables. So everything that you need to play solo is here. So you just use these two very simple tools, this rule set and these two, and then you are able to play it solo really well, and the experience is great. I recommend you to read these because, as you can see, it's not too much to read, but this pressure point mechanic is very interesting, and I think, yeah, it adds a lot to the game. Apart from that, still talking about the first version of Cairn, we also have Follow the Bones. And this is some kind of, how can I say, it should be used, at least in my opinion, in combination with Barrel Delver, because it does not have oracles to answer yes or no, or even spark tables. What it has is basically like a framework for an adventure. So usually when you need to travel, the adventure itself is to travel through the forest to reach a cairn. And while we are doing this, you do not know at the beginning, so you roll in these lists by using d4s, and then you have your sentences that can bring inspiration to you. And it's a really simple framework. So there are a lot of things here that are very useful if you use in combination with Barrel Delver. So once again, very simple pages, also free. I will put the link in the description. So with only these three simple materials, you are able to play solo. So this is the reason that I always say that Cairn is great for solo gamers. But then Cairn 2e arrived. And I would say that with this, you basically do not need to bring too much from other systems. Because I would say that everything that you need is here. Everything. If we go to Cairn Player's Guide, because now we have these two books, and I hope that you are aware that Cairn 2e is basically the same rule set, but with way more tables and content. But the rules are the same, so it's very compatible. If you have been using Barrel Delver, you can use it here normally, no problem. You can use Follow the Bones. You can use everything that we have currently available for Cairn first edition. It will be compatible with Cairn second edition, definitely. But in Cairn itself, if we have a look in the player's guide, during the character creation, now we can roll some backgrounds, and these backgrounds, they are rich. They have way more detail, and these details can bring so much to the game that for solo is amazing. So we have 20 backgrounds, and once you roll your d20, you just go to the page, and there I will open one here. If we take the Beast Handler as an example, we have these two additional tables. That one is what creature is your specialty, and the other one, what do creatures of the wild understand that your kind do not. And you just roll it, and you have even more inspiration to you. In addition to that, we still have, of course, character traits, basically the same from the first version. And we have these bonds. This is also good to roll because there are so many good ideas that one can just get as an initial, as a spark, and from that make it way bigger. In addition to that, we have omens. So all these tables by themselves in the player's hand guide are enough to create an initial adventure. So many ideas, so many that one can use to start an adventure. And moving to the core rules, one can clearly see another thing here called Die of Fate. Basically, you just roll a d6. If you have doubt, you roll. If it's 4 or more, it's something good, something in favor of the player characters. But if it is 3 or under, usually means a bad luck for the player characters. So this is basically an oracle, right? You just roll a d6. And I already made a video here by using just a d6 to create an adventure. Basically, we don't need too much. And this now means that we have somehow an oracle here. So if the character is struggling, trying to see if a door is opened, I can just use the Die of Fate. Is the door opened? And I roll the dice, I roll 4. If it is good for the players, I think, yeah, it would be great if the door was opened. I can say, yes, the door is opened. Otherwise, if I say, okay, am I able to see the trap? And I roll 4, yes, I am able to see the trap. Great. So I can use the rule itself now to answer simple questions. And now in the player's guide, we also have procedures. They are part of the core rules now. And one can use these because they are very useful for solo. So we have dungeon exploration with the dungeon exploration cycle, dungeon events, action, searching, resting, panic. Panic mechanic is also good. Dungeon elements such as light, doors, and trap. And we also have wilderness exploration. The day is divided by watches, very similar to Forbidden Lands, but instead of being a hex crawler game, it's more like a point crawler game with several useful tables. We have weather tables, so many things that we can use here. So wilderness exploration cycle, it's also here. So we just follow the procedures in your game, and then you will be able to play a very good session if you are in a dungeon or if you are exploring the wilderness. Every single procedure here will be very useful. Moving to the Warden's Guide, we do not have rules here, but we have here like tables to create a dungeon. So you can just roll here and create a dungeon. There are several tables, denizens, traits, and so on, and also how to build your map. So you just roll a couple of dice, and then you can draw the map of your dungeon, and you can use your characters there. So many things here only for dungeons, and the same we have for forests. So why do we need more? We don't. We can just roll here and use these descriptions and stuff and virtues and vices. You can use it even if you are not rolling for forest things. For instance, if I say I meet someone, an NPC, I could definitely roll in the character creation, but I could also roll here. I could say, okay, how is this person? And maybe I can just roll here 18 and it's sharp. So I see this guy that seems to be very smart, is very skilled, and maybe I could even roll a vice here, and it's aggressive. So sharp and aggressive. These two columns here can bring a lot. You see, I already know it's not for the forest. I'm just rolling these tables to get inspiration to elaborate a little bit more about a non-player character. Okay, this sharp and aggressive guy, what is his goal? And I can just roll to awakening. So maybe he wants to awake something. And okay, and what is his problem now? And 2 is belief. Okay, and then I can just elaborate a little bit more. I can use the same here for the description. Of course, this is forest description, but I can roll here to describe anything. Let's say that I find this small house, abandoned house, and I enter it and I say, okay, how is it inside? And I roll here, and a 2, crystalline. Okay, so for some reason it's abandoned. I can see from outside that no one lives there, but when I jump in the house, I see that it's clean. I can understand this crystalline, it's really clean, meaning that maybe someone is living here. Okay, and then is there someone there? And I roll here, and 6, yes, there is someone there. How many people? And maybe I can just roll the 6 and say, okay, 6 people are there. So as I go into this house, I thought it was abandoned, but actually it's not abandoned. There are several people there, 6 people, and then I can just say, okay, is they how they react. And then we also have other tables like morale tables and so on that we can use to roll, but I can also roll a simple d6 and interpret it as I wish. There are way other tables here that one can use to create several other stuff. And so basically this is how you play Cairn solo. You just create the characters that you want, or just roll them randomly. How many characters? Should I roll 1 character, 2 characters, 3 characters? As Cairn is very simple, it's easy to manage 4 characters or even more. The character sheet is simple, the rules are simple, so do whatever you want. So I would recommend, if you are a little bit worried about the amount of characters, start with 2 at least. Create 2 characters, try to understand who they are, what are their goals, then roll, create your world. Just use these tables here. You can just create a faction. Maybe they are part of a faction, or maybe they are against of a faction. We also have like tables here at the beginning of the book to create regions. So try to elaborate a little bit more. Create your region, define how things are, where they are, what are they doing here, and then after that you will be ready to start your adventure. I said start your adventure, not your game, because in my opinion, preparation is also part of the game. So once again, guys, Cairn second edition is also free. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, so you can just download it for free. If you want to buy it on Amazon, it's very cheap also. Cairn first edition is also still available, so if you don't want to have too much stuff and you would like to start simple, I do not know why. Definitely you should try this one due to the fact that there are way more tables and useful tables here. But if you want to start small, okay, get the first edition, and regardless of the edition, feel free to bring Barrow Delver if you want to have a more robust oracle, because I can tell you that of course just yes or no in a d6 it's simple, but if you have this pressure point mechanic added to it, you will see that it is way better. And we also have these spark tables that I use more often, the ones from the Warden's Guide, but this is just a simple sheet that I have in my hand, and it's way simpler just to get here really fast, roll a d20 and get a number and an action or a subject from these tables. Once again, follow the bonds is also good. You just roll 2d4 and you check the tables here. It's good, and I strongly recommend you to use it also in your games. I think that's it for today. I hope you like it. If you have questions, doubts, feel free to add to the comment section, and I will try to reply you as soon as I can. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye bye.